Okay guys, this is Alyson, and now we are going to start discussing a bit about our chapter 4 of Katamba's book, Morphology area. The theme is productivity in word formation. Okay, let's understand what means exactly this term productivity in word formation. We know that word formation is a process where we can see the creation of new terms, okay, or at least study the process that in the past how these words were formatted. Okay, now we have the 4.1, the open-endedness of the lexicon. Lexicon is the group of words or a kind of vocabulary we have in our language. Okay, official lexicon you have. It's true that a large percent of real words that occur in the dictionaries. Okay, sometimes we use all the time. Actually, we use lots of words in our routine when we are communicating. Okay. But sometimes in very fast moments and sometimes unconscious, we use some words some new words. Sometimes we make a blend, you make some mistakes, and you create new words. Okay, and it's very interesting, this process, because sometimes these words are not in the dictionary. Okay, sometimes they are registered in the dictionary depending on the community use of it, the lexeme, or not. Okay, but there are lots of words that are created at the moment of the speech spontaneously. Okay, sorry. Okay, pair, or in this case, this thought. Okay, this thought is a mistake. Okay, sometimes children usually do a process like this. Okay, the language is spontaneously and creates fresh terms like neologisms. Okay, like snail mail. Do you know what means snail mail? Mail, we know that when we have to send some letter, some package. Okay, snail mail is a new term, is an neologism created to when you want to refer to a normal email service. Okay, because now we have a kind of electronic mail that's very fast, instantly. In seconds you can send an email from Brazil to Japan. Okay, it's very fast. So now we have a term for snail mail for a normal service. Okay, not so fast like email. So we have to consider that there are very huge differences between morphology and syntax. Okay, it's easier for morphology to register their terms in a book, like a dictionary, official dictionary like Oxford of the English language, or Aurélio in the Brazilian language, Portuguese language. Okay, but it's very difficult for syntax to create a group of sentences, because human beings have a creativity processes, and Chomsky defends this idea in the jurativisms. Okay, but it's not this question. Syntax, it's complicated because it's almost impossible to catalog a list of sentences. Okay, a lot of English course creates some books with some useful sentences that you can memorize and you can use in your routine when you are talking in a conversation or your conversation. But sometimes we have lots of combinations. Okay, it's almost impossible to catalog all the sentences, possible sentences in the language, in the human language. Okay, no dictionary, however large, not even the complete Oxford English dictionary, can list every word in the English language. Why is this so? Okay, it's a difficult task for morphology too. Okay, we know the majority of words, but we know that the language is always in movement. Okay, every day we lost some terms, old terms, and every day we have some slangs that sometimes are registered in the dictionary, and we have new lexemes, neologisms. Okay, so the language is always in movement. The word formation rules is passive to the question of analyzing the new words. They actually are more interested in the old ones. Okay, we have a question here. The majority of linguistics that work with morphology are very interested in to study old terms, but a minor number of linguistics is studying new terms, new process of new terms. Okay, so it's like this. This is a question. We have to think about this another new area to develop some studies. The more such words we recognize as part of the language, the bigger and more open-ended will our lexicon be. Okay, the words we use is considered a group of words that we call some lexicon, official words. There is a problem with the syntax. To distinguish which combination of the words are compounds or syntactic phrases is not a simple task. Sometimes we have combinations of words that seems to be a syntactic question or a syntactic phrase because we have a combination of words in a good sequence or in a correct sequence. But sometimes these combination of words are only one lexeme because it has only one meaning. Okay, let's understand it better. I know it's difficult. For example, Lakeside Grammar School former pupils. If I ask you, what's this? Is it a syntactic sentence phrase, or is a case of morphology, like a compound? Okay, Lakeside Lakeside School. Lakeside School, we know that it's a compound, okay, because it's the name of the school, okay? Escola do Lago, ao lado do lago in Portuguese, okay? But Lakeside Grammar School former pupils, it seems to be a syntactic question. Okay, a syntactic sentence, but it depends. If you thought about combination of words, actually you have a syntactic phrase, okay, like nouns, adjectives, okay, verbs, and so on. Oh, my voice is terrible today. Let's go. But if you consider like all these words like just one meaning with resulting in just one meaning, we have a compound. Okay, you can think that this is the name of a group, the name of a team, for example. So in this case we have a compound. Okay, Lakeside Grammar School former pupils is the name of a team, okay, a sport team. So, is the larger unit Lakeside Grammar School a compound noun too? Is all the sentence a compound noun too? So, where is the limit? It's a good question. Okay, all the sentence seems to be a syntactic phrase, except if we consider that the whole sentence above is the same name of a team. Okay, so if we consider that Lakeside Grammar School former pupils is the name of the team's name, it's a compound. But we consider word by word in a combination, it's a syntactic pattern, for example, right? For many languages, a word could be longer if there is the necessity of express some concept. Let's understand more. For example, let's compare two languages now, two different languages. Latinate language like Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese, we have the word saudade, and American English, I miss you. Okay, we have different morphemes, a different quantity of morphemes. In English we have 3 morphemes. In Portuguese we have I think so, just 1. Okay, but we have 2 lexemes. Okay, saudade is one lexeme, and I miss you is one lexeme, because I miss you represents just one meaning. Okay, it's like saudade. If you break it down, I separate of miss and separate of you, we have three different lexemes, because I is a subject noun, represents like me. Miss is something lack of something, and you in this case is an object pronoun. Okay, it's suffering some action or receiving some action. Okay, so let's go. It's possible to add to the lexicon of a language by pillaging the vocabulary. Okay, this is called borrowing. Okay, let's stop a little bit because I'm not sure if I'm recording this class. Let me check. Okay, just a moment. Yes, we are recording. Okay, let's come back. I'm sorry. Okay, it's possible to add to the lexicon of a language by pillaging the vocabulary. Pillaging is like is association with the pillage, when you stole some term, something of another person. Okay, so in this case, some words of another language. It's like a borrowing. This is called borrowing. Okay, in Brazil, we use a lot of borrowings from the English language. For example, shopping. Shopping for us is a place where you can buy a lot of things, a lot of goods. Okay, a lot of stuff. But in the United States, it's shopping. It's like the verb to buy. Okay, the real term is mall or shopping mall in British shopping center. Okay, so we have shopping, coffee break, hot dog. Okay, these are borrowing that we use as Brazilian terms. Okay, but originally they are not Brazilian Portuguese, from Brazilian Portuguese. Okay. Pillaging, borrowing some words of another language sometimes is possible for some language that has been in contact. Okay, just an example. For example, the words that are case of borrowing. Shopping. Okay, shopping is this action. Okay, to buy some stuff. Okay, for in Brazil, shopping is like this, the place. Okay, but this is a mall or shopping mall, the place you buy some stuff. Okay, coffee break. What else? Self-service. Okay, self-service usually in Brazil refers to serve yourself with some food, but in the United States, for example, it serves to gas station. Okay, when you need to put some gasoline or alcohol, diesel in your car. Okay, it's the action that you serve yourself. Okay, and we have some another terms like pardon me used in English. Okay, that comes from French. Omelette from French too, that are very useful in English. Fresco, I don't know if my pronunciation is correct in Italian. It's like fresh in Portuguese. Okay, it's Italian borrowing for English. Questa pizza è fresco. Okay, I don't know anything about Italian. Productivity. Okay, productivity is, we have to focus on the words now, and we are going to compare which kind of words produce more derivations, okay, more terms, more combinations, and which kind of words produce less combinations. Okay, this is the concept of production. The more general word formation process is the more productive it will assume to be. Okay, so we classify as productive the term that has more realizations, more derivations, more terms. Okay, more productive term. Productive is a matter of degree. Some processes are relatively more general, and productivity is a subject of dimension of time. A very general process may become less general in order the historical periods. It depends of the period. Sometimes some processes are more common at the past. Okay, but now we have different kinds of processes, okay, that are acting in a better productivity way, okay. Okay, we have seen the concepts of production. Now let's study some kinds of suffixes and compare which one are more productive and less productive, okay. We have three different kinds of suffixes here, like ist, id, and all of them are derivational, okay. We have to consider this. The Latinate suffix ist may be added to noun bases, which can also take the derivational suffix ism, okay. So it's a how can I say, they are similar, okay. For example, we have the words chart, chartism, common, communism, racism, anarchism, okay. We have the transcriptions now. Now it's better, and we can change these combinations of suffix for these ones. Chartism for chartist, chartist, okay. We have to stress here a major and a minor secondary stress. Chartist, chartist. Communist, communist, communist. Racist, pianist, pianist. Oh, this is difficult for me. Anarchist, anarchist. Okay, so let's go. It can also be added to noun bases to form adjectives. Let's see some example, like a noun, race. Now we put the suffix in this noun and we change to an adjective. So race, racist. Okay, I have a joke here. Let's see. One. Ist, meaning advocate of anarchist or communist, okay. It's the meaning of the suffix, meaning practitioner of pianist or violinist, okay. So in one situation we have someone or something that advocates, okay, in favor of something or someone. In the second way we have the practitioner, someone or something that practices something, okay. Number three, we have an adjective, meaning advocate of, as in racist, sexist, okay, in this case a sexist, okay, meaning advocate of. Okay, finally, this is very interesting, because sometimes we have this suffix in English and you don't know that the suffix comes from German, okay, or Germanic suffix. Finally, the native Germanic suffix is suffixed to verbs to create agentive nouns with the meaning someone who does whatever is designed by the verb, okay. Let's see. For example, a process is considered productive if it is very general or affects a vast number of forms and creates very many words. Example, the agentive morpheme changes verbs in nouns. Let's see some examples. For example, you have the verb to work. Using the adjective morpheme, we have a noun, worker, a person that works. To write, the verb to write. Now we have the person that writes, a writer. To dance, now we have a noun, the person that dances. And to teach, now we have the professional that teaches, usually. For example, an English teacher. Did you find new terms with ID? Can you find new terms with ID similar to these ones? Okay. Is it possible? But actually it's very difficult, okay, because these terms are very restricted. Let's understand why. I expect that you have had some difficulty in finding 5 more adjectives which contain the derivational suffix id. Okay, This morpheme is in the unproductive end of English morphology, so it's considered a frozen term or frozen terms. It is frozen, okay? They are not so productive, okay? So it's difficult to find many terms using derivated by these suffixes, okay? It's frozen. Okay, now let's see the difference between productivity and semi-productivity, okay? Matthews, 1972, recognized a special category which they call semi-productivity to cover idiosyncratic affixes which inexplicably fail to attach to apparently eligible forms. The meaning of the resulting word may be unpredictable. Okay, for this situation, we have the suffix "ant." When we combine this suffix with some morphemes, maybe we could have unpredictable results or unpredictable meanings. Let's see some. The suffix "ant" turns a verbal base into an adjective similar to that present with the "or." Okay. For example, communicant, defendant, applicant, okay, is the person that communicates, the person that defends, the person that applies something, okay? All these terms that are very similar to Brazilian Portuguese usually are derivated from the Latin, okay? So usually we have some rule affecting them. Okay, let's understand. Dependent, participant, assistant. Okay, but we can't attach these this suffix to these terms because here we have some asterisks. That these asterisks represent that it's wrong. This combination of word and suffix and morpheme is wrong. Okay, you can't combine right with ant, right ant, or build ant, or shoot ant, okay? Because this suffix only realize itself with Latinate morphemes, okay? The case of depend, defend, participant, but right, build, and shoot are not Latinate terms, so they are not adaptable to ant suffix, right? Okay, let's see the next topic. The suffix ant. Oh, yeah, I have read this. Okay, it's just the effect. Let's pass it. Okay, they are Latinate root. Okay, the reason for the restriction of the use of this affix is historical. Okay, this suffix is descendant of Latin present participle. I don't know how to pronounce atem, aten, aten. So it attaches to Latinate bases only. Okay, semantically ant. Semantically ant has unpredictable effect. So now let's discuss about productivity and creativity. Okay. Well, creativity is the capacity of all human people to produce an infinite number of words and utterances. Okay, Chomsky defends this idea, okay, strongly in syntax, in generativism. In the domain of morphology, in morphology, the creativity manifests in two ways. Okay, we have these two concepts, but we are not to work on them. Okay, at least for now. The majority of the words are formed by following rules, defined patterns. However, sometimes some words are created by creative process that necessarily do not follow any pattern. Okay, so it's very strange when we have this term like stopigeon representing like police informer. Okay, it's very strange. Or red legs representing people that in the past work over the hot sun, okay, because of that these people had red legs because of the sun rays, okay, exposition, yes. Deadline, we know deadline when we have to submit some paper, we have a limit, okay, a date. But at the past, deadline was a place where the soldiers couldn't cross it because they could die if they cross it, okay. It's the limit. We have these were the old terms. Now we are going to see some recent terms like Walkman. Okay, do you remember the Walkman? I remember I had one. Oh, it was awesome. Okay, high tech at that time. Okay, but now we have the evolution of Walkman. Okay, but Walkman, it's not a case of okay, Walkman. Okay, that it's implicit the idea that you are free to use it. Okay, you can walk in when you are listening. Okay. But it's not the literary concept. Okay, we have another different example of tall boy. Here we have a compound, but if we have the separated terms tall and boy separated, we have an adjective acting over a noun, okay, qualifying a noun. But here we have a compound; they are together. Okay, so tall boy, it's like this one. Okay, this kind of furniture. Now let's discuss about constraints on productivity. Okay, constraints like limitations. Okay, not even word that is produced is allow. Okay, so sometimes we have some words that are not allowed to be registered in our dictionary, for example. And we have cases of blocking. Okay. And when we discuss about blocking, we have different instances like semantics blocking, semantics effect that cause the blocking effect, phonological effects, and morphological effects too. Okay, for example, we have the word thief. Sorry, this is a thief. Okay, F. It's wrong. And we have a similar steal in black. Okay, when you take something that is not it's not yours. Okay, the conception is when you have two similar synonyms, one is restricted. Okay, so it's not possible to create the term stealer. Okay, because we have thief. Okay, representing the same thing. So this combination with this suffix, this adjective, is blocking. Okay, blocked. Okay, okay. Where there exist two semantic similar morphemes, one of which is more productive than the other, the more productive morpheme is less susceptible to blocking. Okay. This can be seen with the behavior of the suffixes ity and nas. Okay, let's check. Aronoff 1976 has shown that the suffixation of nas is more productive than the suffixation of ity. Okay, we have the representation here. Okay, let's see some examples. Here we have pre-existing nouns. Okay, here we have the derivations with the suffix ity and the derivation with the suffix nas. Remember that nas is more productive than ity. That okay is not so productive. So we have the original term here, glory. When you put the suffix ity, gloriosity. Okay, it's not possible. We have an asterisk here, so it's wrong. But here, gloriousness is possible. Furiosity is wrong. Furiousness, okay, it's okay. And space, the same situation. We should have an asterisk here. Okay, I forgot. I'm sorry. So, but it's not possible. Only this situation is possible. Okay. Dimensions of block. So we have three kinds of dimensions that influence in a block situation, okay, in a constraint situation: phonological, morphological, and semantic. For today we are going to study phonological and morphological, okay? Semantic we are going to study in another different class. Phonological factors. Blocking can be motivated by phonological considerations. Let's focus on ly, li. We have already seen that this derivation suffix is attached in a highly predictable manner to adjectives to form adverbs such as. Okay, here we have a Xerox of the book. Okay, so constraints and productivity. Okay, we have the primitive terms here like adjectives, kind and fierce. We have the combination with the suffix ly, and it creates a new term, an adverb. Okay, we have the adjectives here, elegant and serious, and when we put together this suffix ly, we have a new adverb, elegantly, and seriously. Okay, note the adverbs in 4.11 are disallowed, or at the best awkward, even thought they might be listed in dictionaries. Suggest a phonological motivation for these restrictions. Okay, here we have restrictions different of here. Okay, so silly. Okay, the original term ends with ly. If you put another ly, you have a very strange transformation. Okay, so this first ly, it would be li. Okay, so sillily, miserly, miserlily, friendly, friendlily, sisterly, sisterly. So it's not so interesting for the language accommodation. It's very difficult to pronounce too. Okay, so sometimes we can check here that phonological process can influence in blocking of some terms. Okay, so we have the marks here. Okay, and the primitive terms adjectives, and here we have in green the new terms adverbs by suffixation of ly, and here they are not possible. Okay, because phonologically they are very, very not interesting. What 4.11 shows is that the segmental phonology of the base can determine whether a form can undergo ly suffixation. The ly suffixation tends to be avoided where an adjective ends in ly. Suffixing ly would result in this preferred lily sequence in the derivative adverb, but ly is used freely, okay, without any problem, where the adjective does not end in ly, according to Aronoff, 1976. Our final example of phonological constraints on word formation is taken from French, where the diminutive suffix at, masculine, at, feminine, is used freely to form diminutive nouns like these. Okay, here we have a question of French. Okay, when you have at using one T, you are indicating masculine terms. When you are using at with double T, you are indicating feminine. Okay, female situations. I'm sorry. So we have here, I don't know how to pronounce in English, fille, representing like girl, okay, and filette, little girl, camion, I have the transcription, camion, camion, it's like French, it's like a truck, camion, camionette. Okay, camionette, camionette. Okay, light truck, camion leve. Livre, book. Livrette, booklet. Okay. Okay. These terms are used for diminutive. File, filette, little girl, camion, camionette, little truck, light truck, sorry, and livre, book, livrette. Okay. We have here the term carotte, feminine, but it's not possible to adapt the suffix t, at, okay, because we have double t e here, and if you put double t and e again, okay, it's not phonological, it's not so interesting, it's not possible, okay, so it's grammatical, morphologically and phonologically speaking. Okay, but carrot is like a little kind of carrot. Okay. Okay, so we have to consider that in this case for French, when the terms ends in explosive terms like T and D, it's not possible, these combinations. Okay, use this kind of suffixes. Bastide is like a country, a little country house. Okay, the suffixation of at and at, double T, is frustrated if the last consonant in the base is an alveolar plosive, not explosive, sorry, alveolar plosive, T or D. Okay, in this case are not possible to combine those kinds of suffixes for French. Okay, here we have a joke. Please, the priest asks, please don't bore her, okay, because she represents the T and D plosive. Okay, languages seem to have rules of euphony, which tend to bar certain jarring or dissonant sound sequences in word formation, so the sounds are not interesting. Okay, now let's abandon, okay, the phonological factors, and let's start to studying the morphological factors. Okay, morphological factors. The morphological properties of a base may prevent the application of morphological rules. Often, native morphemes behave differently from foreign morphemes. Some affixes are typically added either to native bases or to bases of foreign origin. For example, as we saw above in 4.5, ant, as in defendant, is suffixed to bases of French origin. Similarly, the rule of velar softening, which changes k, usually spelled with the letter C, to s, is essentially restricted to words of Latin and French origin. Let's understand better now, okay? So we have here in this question, we have the case of velar softening. We have the sound of k represented by this symbol, okay? But sometimes this sound, it would be more soft, okay? In another different situations. Guess you? Yes, sure. In Latinate situations, okay? So, before a suffix commencing with a non-low vowel, example E. The effects of velar softening can be seen in 4.15. I'll have the transcription here of these two terms. Scenic, C represents the k sound, scenic, scenical, but here we have the oh my god, cynicism, cynicism, okay. Okay, so velar softening only affects words with Romance roots. So if a thinker called Blake developed a new philosophy, we might call it Blakeism, but we couldn't not call it Blakeism, since Blake is not a Romance root, okay? So this situation, this softening, only happened for this termination, this phoneme in Latinate morphemes, okay? In this case. Good. Okay, so we had a transformation from k here in green to a softening s, s. Okay, cynicism. Sorry, cynicism. We have two stress here, a major and a minor. Yes, criticism, criticize, fanaticism, okay, and so on. Okay. I forgot to put the defect here. Let's go. Let's make an improvisation now. Okay, relax. What is the meaning of hood in 4.16? Okay, boyhood, girlhood. Okay, boyhood, it's like a group of boys, okay, that have something in common. Okay, let's see another picture. In this case, kindhood. Oh, so not kind, kanghood. Okay, okay, it's a group of a person that is around a king. I think so. Maidhood. Okay. Sisterhood. It's like in Brazilian, irmandade. In this case, brotherhood, sisterhood. But it's not possible to create the terms adding the suffix hood, like in judge, governor, colonel, minister, director, author, prisoner, and generalhood. Why? Guess. Okay, because they are Latinate. Okay, so they are not compatible with this hood suffix, right? Okay, however, we should be careful not to press this too far. The roots in 4.17 below are borrowed from French, yet they can take the suffix hood. With the passage of time, foreign morphemes can be fully assimilated and nativized to that they behave in the same way as indigenous morphemes. Okay, so it's a question of paradigm. Okay, it's a question of time. Sometimes there's a coincidence with the native indigenous sounds and morphemes with this borrowed. Okay, so in this case we can put the suffix hood to parent the suffix hood with state and nation. Okay, parenthood, statehood, and nationhood. It's a question of paradigm. We are going to study this on next classes, right? Finally, the selection of affixes that co-occur with a particular base may depend on that base being a member of a particular paradigm. Example, a purely morphological subclass. Morphemes belonging to different paradigms take different affixes. This is very often the case in inflectional morphology. Consider the French examples below, okay? But we are not to consider these examples now. Next class we are going to study in a deep way. So I really wish that you had enjoyed with this class, okay? If you have any doubt, we are going to discuss about them next class, okay? It was good to be with you. Bye-bye.